What's going on? This is Marcus. This is our live advanced kettlebell workout. I'm going to do it on Instagram now, and then we're going to get started. Let's start this now. What's going on? This is Marcus, and this is our advanced kettlebell workout. So my goal with this workout today, we're going to be doing some unique movements, maybe for some of you, maybe not for all of you. So know yourself. If you are not an advanced user, then I'll give you some variations that you'll be able to incorporate. But as with most of my lives, as with most of my posts, my goal with this and with my posts is to give you things that you can do differently to just help you think outside the box, not so far out of the box that you're not going to get any kind of results, but I want you to enjoy your training and have some fun with this. The kettlebell is a unique tool, and I think that we should be able to have some fun trying some different things and not get so stuck on trying to do the same thing over and over and over. So without further ado, we'll get started. We're just going to go right into it because it's just how it's going to be. So we'll start off with something light. I'll walk you through each one of these, and then we're going to do it as an EMOM, as a circuit. So we're going to go for 20 minutes, and I have my timer over here. Let's go. What's up, Maddie? Good to see you on here. We're going to go for 20 minutes, and we're going to go for reps. So I'm just going to keep going through it. I'll talk you through a lot of these because some of these might be a little bit new or a little bit complex for you. And I don't want you to jack yourself up while doing this. This is an advanced thing. So first one we're going to do, we're going to do a rotational snatch. We're going to start from the rack position. We're going to go across the body, and we're going to snatch. Okay, so we're going to bring it all the way to the top. I'll start off with the advanced section, and then I'll give you some things that you can break it down. So this is movement number one. Starting off in the rack position. We're going to pivot, go across the body. As we go across, we're going to catch in a 90-degree turn, 180-degree turn, because I know my math. I'm going to bring it down to the rack position, back to the rack. I'm going to go across my body, bring it up to the top, back down to the rack. We're going to go 5 reps here. So the key thing here is there's going to be a slight hinge as I do this, and all that's going to do is it's going to pave the way so that I don't take out my knees. So I really like rotational work with the kettlebell. Just a fun way to challenge yourself. And down. That was sick, but you get it. So we're starting off with a rotational snatch going from the rack position. This is movement number one. Other side, we're going 5 reps here. Cross. So I love this because there's that pivot from the ground up. It feels very athletic. You're moving your entire body as you do this. 3, 4, and 5. Oh, so make sure you understand the mechanics of the snatch. You understand that the bell's not slamming on the forearm. It's going around the forearm. You got that float down, but it's all about that hip extension while maintaining a good amount of tension through your core. So even if I was doing it just single arm right in front of me, same idea. I'm still creating that hip extended position. All right, next one we're going to do. We're going to take off this one, my freaking watch. All right, we're going to go into a half kneeling, into a lunge. From that lunge position, we're going to do a half kneeling bent press. So we're going to rack it up. I'm going to stay on one side. I'm going to lunge back on the opposite leg. From here, I'm going to perform the bent press. Keep my arm locked out. I'm going to stand up with the bell, right back down. Right into that half kneeling bent press. Right back to standing. Right back down. We're going one more rep. Just going 3 reps here. And back to standing. And the reason the bent press is more advanced is most people don't have that range of motion to be able to get into that position really hard on the shoulders if you're not prepared. So if you don't have that ability, what you're going to do is a lunge. From this bottom position, I want you to bring that elbow up, rotate your torso, rotate, try to bring your shoulder back as far as possible within a pain-free movement, and then come right back, press, stand up, right back down, shoulder opener if you don't have the range of motion or you don't understand the bent press. Right back. Otherwise, you're going to do the bent press. Just really dig the stability you need throughout the shoulder from the bench press. Gets you really comfortable in uncomfortable positions. And that's standing. Oh my goodness. So with that bench press, it's about that combination of that rotation, getting your shoulder into that position, and then lowering your torso at the same time. So because you're externally rotated, you have your shoulder pulled back, it can be very hard on the shoulder, so just be very careful with that. Like I said, move within your abilities. All right, next one we're gonna do is a staggered rotational swing. So I'm gonna start with the bell in my right hand. I'm gonna stagger my right leg. So that's gonna open up my hips. As I come down, I'm gonna add that rotation. I'm gonna sink into that front leg. So I want you to really feel this on your glutes and on your hamstrings. So the way to practice that, if you're not used to this, stagger the position, pull your shoulders back, as if you're gonna do a hard style two-hand swing. You're gonna marry your arm to your body. I want you to sink down into that hinge, focusing on that front leg. Once you get into that bottom position, I want you to rotate slightly. So you're not gonna round your back as you do this. I want you to rotate and just sink a little bit further. As you stand up, drive through that front leg. That bell comes straight out in front of you, not out to the side. So I'll give you 10 reps here. Ready? Sink down, and that slight rotation of doubling down that tension. I'm driving through that front leg. Oh, and what I like about this one, I was gonna say love and like, is you really have to focus on that fully planted foot. You really allow yourself to dig into that hip. So as you come up, it's like you're jumping off of one leg without leaving the ground. So kind of like with a swing, where you want to imagine you're jumping without leaving the ground, but you're focusing on one side, and then you get that little extra rotation in there. Feels really good on the back. All right, other side. So you can make this a little bit more hard style where you're pulling down explosively, using that Valsalva, or you can make it a little bit flowier. Either way, keep that tension. Oh my goodness. I guess you're already up. And if you do that right, do that properly, you should be feeling that on your glute and on your quad a little bit more. Definitely not in your lower back. All right, last one in this. We're gonna get to the ground. We're gonna go into a no hand half get up. So we'll do that first one without any weight, so you can try it out. So I'm gonna come up into a seated position. So imagine I have the bell in my left arm. I'm gonna come up into a seated position. From here, arms up on the left. I'm gonna bring my knees to the right. So if that's as far as you can go, awesome. If you have the hip mobility and the strength, you're going to keep your toes up in that dorsiflex position. You're going to drive through your hips, bring that leg around. Come back in that seated position, forward, and then right back, just like that. So we're gonna go for 3 reps on one side. So on this first one, you might have to use a little bit of momentum, that's fine. Bring your feet to one side, into that half kneeling position, and then right back down. Whoa. Right back up. Make sure you own each position. If let's say the first rep looks awesome, second rep looks like okay, and the third rep starts to look like garbage, don't keep powering through. Just go up to where you feel comfortable. I mean, not really comfortable. You're definitely not gonna feel comfortable doing this. And back down. Oh. 3 reps of that is no joke. And I talk about this a lot. I've talked about this in my courses. When it comes to get-ups, I'm not a fan of doing a lot of heavy get-ups, full get-ups all the way to standing. What I'd rather do is take portions of it and then just practice those pieces that for me are challenging and that for me give me some where I'm trying to go, which is better shoulder strength, stability, core strength, all that. Hip mobility. Oh, all right. Other side, up into that seated position. If you don't have that overhead position, just bring it down. And then from here, it's gonna make it a little bit easier. So this is a way where you can use a heavier weight and still get a lot of the benefits of this. Otherwise, challenge yourself. And right back down. So this is the last exercise in this advanced full body circuit. Right back up. And down. Oh, God. And we go right back into it. So those are the movements we're going through. We got the rotational snatch. We got the half kneeling bent press. We got the staggered one arm swing. And we got the no hand get up. So let's go through it again. So this is great for, like right now, we're doing it more from a conditioning focus and kind of moving through it fast. You can absolutely take your time and just focus on one movement at a time. Have plenty of rest, go straight sets, practice those. So like for the rotational snatch, let's say you're using something a little bit heavier, you just go 3 to 5 reps. Rest a minute, do the other side, rest a couple minutes. So you can maximize that strength output or that output. Right back into the snatch. Go 5 reps here. Make sure, again, keep that tension, drive through the hips. Right back. Once that feels good, you can go from the top. But this is going to be a little bit hairier to navigate if you're not used to it. This is a little bit easier. And if you don't have the snatch, you can always just do that rotational. Make sure you're doing this in a place where you can pivot freely. I want you to be able to pivot. That's a common mistake with a lot of the rotational work, is doing a lot of half kneeling rotational exercises. I want you to be able to, if you think about rotation and what you're trying to do, you're using your entire body from the ground up to maximize that rotation. So that's why I want you to be able to pivot. I want you to be able to use your hips, use all the way up from your ankles, from your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips, all the way to what the intended purpose is. In this case, it's to get that bell up. But if it was to throw a ball, throw a kick, throw a punch, etc., you'd be able to do that. Right into that rotational snatch. So, with power being the focus here, take your second, reset, use your breath, use that explosive pull with that hip extension. And down. Rather than just kind of flowing through it. And you can do that. You can make it a conditioning focus. It's all good. But if you got any questions, let me know. I will attempt to answer them at the end of this. All right, let's do that bench press. So we're gonna start in the rack position, lunge back with that opposite leg. So we'll start with the bell in the right side, lunge back, open up, get that bench press, back to standing, and repeat. So we're not trying to get flowy in that I'm going through each position, as quickly as possible. I'm trying to control each aspect of this. Making sure I'm putting the tension in the areas that I want to, and I'm not feeling it where I don't want to. And I'm not using double negatives where I don't want to. All right, other side. Lunge back on the opposite leg. So if it's in the left arm, right leg comes back. Front bench press. And back up. Back down. And repeat. So this, we're obviously getting some shoulders, definitely some core, some lower body as well. And back up. And down. So just with those two movements, let's just break those down. You got the rotational snatch, and you've got the half kneeling or even just the bench press. We're getting our pulling, our pushing, a lot of stability. We're getting some power in there. So just those two exercises, phenomenal for shoulder strength and just overall kind of athletic development. All right, staggered rotational swing. If the rotation feels a little hairy for you, just do a staggered swing, but don't add in any added rotation. So a mistake I see with people when they do the rotation is they overly try to rotate farther than their bodies are capable of. So just drive, sit back into it. It's just a slight sink. So notice how that rotation isn't going to be super exaggerated. It's not like I'm taking it across my midline. And sink down, stand up. Sink down. Focus on that glute. Your glute. Again, every time I've ever taught that, whenever I see the person making that or going through that exercise for the first time, the first thing we want to make sure they're not feeling the lower back. Second thing is, are you feeling it in your glute and in your quad? That allows you to get really springy in that position and on one side. All right, other side. It's a good cardio workout. I will say, keeping that tension, making sure all the mechanics are still the same. Nothing changes in the hinge. Nothing changes in maintaining that shoulder packed position. Nothing changes in not hyperextending. I don't want to hyperextend at that top position. So everything remains the same. And this is the beauty of understanding the mechanics of the basic exercises that allows you the freedom to start playing around with it. Not saying every time has to be different, but it gives you that opportunity to explore, to try new things. I'm not even talking about flow or anything like that. I'm just talking about taking certain exercises, expanding on them, maybe even incorporate them into a cycle of your training. If you're doing a lot of kettlebell snatches outside of training for a competition, whether it's a kettlebell sport competition or otherwise, outside of that, incorporate rotational snatch in that cycle. You can even use the same rep scheme if you want to do ladders or anything like that. This untied shoe was bothering the ever-loving crap out of me. So for any of you some people out there that were like, tie your shoe, Marcus! You're gonna trip. That was for you. All right, no hand get up. Get that bell overhead. I'm gonna use a little bit of momentum. Get in that top position. Rotate the hips. If that's as far as you can go, fantastic. Otherwise, come up, right back down. And again, if it's too hard, just do one rep. If that's too hard, once you get to this position, bring it down to the rack and come up. And just do 2 reps. Otherwise, get those 3 reps in. You own each position, create tension, breathe through that tension, don't hold your breath. And down. Oh my God. Oh, back up. One more time, ready? Bring it up. Get that nice proud chest. I'm not back here. Throwing that shirt folder. I was gonna cut split. You're welcome. Right back down. Right back up. If you got the strength but don't have the ability, plant that hand. Bring your feet to one side. Push with that back hand and just get a little bit of rotation and then just come right back. So again, the goal here isn't just about building strength, isn't just about building power and athleticism, isn't just about fat burning. It's about being able to move better. The more freely that you can move with strength, with weight, the better you're gonna feel, the more resilient you're gonna be. Yo, this is getting my heart rate up. Let's see if there's any questions. Freddie Mercury. I've gotten this mustache, I'll tell you, the amount of people I've heard. It started out as a Bob's Burgers Halloween costume, and it just stayed. So I've gotten Freddie Mercury, I've gotten Ted Lasso, I've gotten Tom Selleck. I appreciate the Tom Selleck one. I've gotten, it's a me, Mario. That was my sister. Shout out to my sister for that one. All right, we'll go one more round through this. I said 20 minutes, but I want to get 3 rounds because this is my conditioning too. 3. Start off with those rotational snatches. 5. Bring it down. Shake it out. Oh. Let's do this. Bring it to the right position. And go. 1. Back across. 2. Start those rotational snatch. 3. If you don't have a snatch, do the clean. If you don't have a single arm clean, do the 2-hand clean. There's always a way to regress everything. Never feel stuck doing a certain movement or like, oh, that's way too advanced, I can't do it. There's always a way that you can regress it to make it work for you and then be able to progress it back up. It's like I talk about in my workshops. Everything is learnable. Absolutely everything is. If you stay with that mentality, it's going to be much more likely that you're going to put the time and the effort and the consistency in to learning whatever that thing is. Right back down, right back up. And back down. Oh man. So rotational snatch, bend press, half kneeling, and then in those swings. And back up. So get some shoulders, some stability. Definitely some core. Everything is core. And back up. If you do it slowly with a lot of intention, a lot of control, you're going to feel like you got so much more out of it versus just powering through a workout, trying to hit a set number of exercises or set number of reps. I'm all about really being intentional with my training. And I'm thinking that's what's helped me stay relatively injury-free. Drive through that front leg. Stand nice and tall. And every time you take that breath in, especially when you're doing ballistic work, always think breathing into the belly, breathing through the diaphragm. That allows you to maintain that tension, that rigidity that's going to balance out the load. So that way you're not just swinging away with your lower back, you're swinging away with your entire body. And you're really focusing on keeping your abs engaged. Right to the side. So you can really incorporate more power if you want to. I find it kind of unnecessary with lighter loads. And I can still maintain that tension and power. Oh my goodness. Whew. Last one. No hand get up. Remember, make it work for you. If you have any questions, you can shoot them in. Hi. That was more of a statement, but I'm fine with that. If you got questions on kettlebell training, been doing cute handbags. I know, right? I'm assuming you mean kettlebells. Kettlebells are funny. I've been doing kettlebells for quite some time, and they elicit a lot of emotions for being an inanimate object. You get people that are like, kettlebells are stupid. 9 times out of 10, they have not used a kettlebell. That's my favorite part. The people that are the most vocal are the people that's never done a kettlebell workout. Back up. But there are also people that think the kettlebells are the end-all be-all. So, to give those people some credit. If someone's out there saying like, oh, this is better than a barbell, better than a dumbbell, it's like, no, it's just different. Find how you can use it differently in your training. Oh, other side. But yeah, it's fun. And then within the kettlebell world, that gets really funny too. You gotta do it this way. Do it every way. This is turning into a kettlebell rant. It's not my intention. One more, no hang. Dramatic noises. And back down. Oh my gosh. All right. That was it. Did 3 rounds. I'll put that on there. But like I said, you can get my goal with this is to show you a few different things so you can take what you want, and then you can disregard the rest. You can say, oh, I really like those snatches. I'm going to start incorporating those in my warm-up. Or I really like bench presses. I really want to start working on those. That's my goal with most of these. I mean, obviously, it's to give you a workout, have a workout, it's to be saved on here, but it's more to just expand your perspective on training and on kettlebell training. I've been doing kettlebells for a very long time. I've been teaching them for an even longer time. So seen a lot of things in the kettlebell world. Anyway, that was your conditioning workout. This was an advanced kettlebell workout. So know yourself. Maybe you're advanced in a couple of those movements, not the rest of them. Obviously, do what feels comfortable for you. You can always scale it back. You can always use really lightweight. Make it just a warm-up. Make it just kind of a fun play conditioning day. So you got your main lifts. You got your upper, your lower, your push-pull legs, whatever you're doing. If you're doing a more traditional stuff, to incorporate stuff like this is great for your warm-up. This is great for your conditioning. If you only have a few kettlebells, then by all means use this as your main lifting. Assess what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish. Can you do what you want with the kettlebell? If so, cool. You can absolutely hit most movement patterns. You can hit most movements. It's not necessarily ideal for every single thing, but you can do a lot with this tool. So really just you gotta look within, Daniel-san. You gotta find what works for you and just go from there. So, all right, if you got any other questions, any questions on the tubes of you, any questions on the grams of Insta? If not, appreciate you joining me for this morning workout. I'll save this on here. I'll have it all listed out so that way you can try it out. My name is Marcus. I've got more kettlebell stuff on my page, and make sure to check out all the awesome stuff here on Kettlebell Kings. All right, you all have a good one. I am out. You all have a good one too. I'll see you on the next one.